Welcome back. In this video I build the loft, or maybe I should be calling it a mezzanine. I get the beams out and the first thing I do is I make a high heap of cleats. Now loft designs are pretty basic, but this is a fully engineered workshop, so given the capacity it needs to hold, this is 10mm plate. I had to make about nearly 40 of these plates, so the mag drill come in really handy once again. And once I had them all drilled, I went ahead, cut them all, cleaned them up, and they were ready then to be positioned onto the main I-beams. Now these I-beams are huge. They're 310mm or 12¼ inches. So I just mark them out and start off just by tacking them and go along, tack them all into the right spot. And then once they're done, I fully weld them on, or stitch weld them. I actually do 3 stitch welds on both sides, which is plenty strong enough for this. There's high tensile bolts that hold each of the joists. So the joists are made from a C-section, 250mm C-section. And once I had these done, I primed them, and then I went ahead and coated them with a hammer finish, because I'm trying to build this workshop into a bit of an old school or industrial sort of feel. These I-beams, the main supports fit in between the main columns of the workshop, so I had to cut them very accurately because I needed the width plus a couple of millimeters, because I actually need to weld the top and bottom webs of those I-beams to this structure as well as part of the plan. So here's the beams, they're all ready to go. I've also got that staircase ready, and as I said, I painted this with a hammer finish. I wanted to do as much work to this as I could while it was on the ground, and once it's up there I'll just touch it up, the paint, or give it maybe one more coat. That weighs about 600 kilos, so what I did is I put a chain block on the main truss, because obviously that's engineered to hold a chain block, and I lift it with the excavator first to get a bit of height, and then use the scissor lift to hop up and slowly lift it up into position. So this works pretty well. As I said, there's probably 3 or 4 millimeters clearance. So once it's up there, I already had the cleats welded on from when I first built the frame. Mag drill again, and I just start by putting 1 bolt in each end just to hold it, and then I go through and there's 3 bolts on each end on each beam, and they're 18mm bolts, so it's going nowhere. This is the second beam going up, and that's the main floor structure. The head height's about 2.8 meters. These are the C-sections, they're 250mm. Now, while I had a chance to get the scissor lift in there before the loft floor was up, I did finish the flashing and the framework for that front wall while I could, and it just makes things a little bit easier. And it's like everything really, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. If you get the planning right, it does make it a bit simpler. They're all the joists, so they're primed, and then I do paint them as well. And again, this is the hammer finish. Pretty happy with this. You do need to put it on relatively thick to get it that sort of wrinkle finish, but I think it's going to go pretty good, and it's like a charcoal color. I'll paint the staircase a bit later, you know, the actual steps. So there it is, all pretty much ready to start putting up. Now the staircase is super heavy duty industrial style stairs with 10mm plates on the sides. I do use this hammer finish as well underneath the stairs, just so that, you know, I can get that out of the way now. And here it is all ready to start lifting the C-sections up. So we just do one at a time. They're already drilled at this point. They're, you know, they're all quite accurate. So I'll just simply lever them over the brackets, and then I'll go back and put the bolts and tension it all up. There's about 18 of these now. The spacing is really close together, and if anyone's been through the approval process, especially for something like this, which is a commercial building, I started at 600mm centres, but couldn't get it approved unless I reduced it down to 450. So it is what it is, and you know, that's never going to go anywhere. Now that space that's left is because of the stairs. So to hold the stairs, because they're so heavy duty, rather than use a C-section, I used a heavier beam. So this is about an 8mm, like a C-beam, and it just didn't feel right to join such a heavy staircase to a C-section that was only, a couple of mil thick. So that's the plate that's going to bolt the stairs. You'll see that that bracket's slightly high. Now the reason for that is I've allowed for the floorboards that I'm going to put up there so that the floorboards finish with the same height as the top step. So you can see it's bolted in there. Then what I do is I've got a little platform here. I weld that on. You can't really see it, but I do weld another RHS to the main column, and then that's welded to the platform, so it's solid as. Really starting to look good now, and it's going to provide some good storage up there. Now give it a bit of a test. Holds my weight, so should be good. Now for the bottom staircase, I actually make the bracket so that the bolts are on the inside, and it just means it's a bit neater, but it does also mean that you need to drill the holes, put the bolts into the concrete first, and then lift the staircase onto it, because there's no way of drilling, obviously when it's under the stairs like that. Chook's on patrol here and seems to be happy with it. Put the bolts in, lift the staircase back in. You can see they're nicely tucked out the way there. Everything on this workshop is lined up so well, and I've mentioned before, all the effort in getting this square is paid off so many times now. Now at this point there was just a little bit more I needed to do with the flooring, and I also finished that front frame, and those are 10mm plates as well, just to hold my barn doors like the rear, because I want them to be super strong. Put another column there just to support the remainder of the floor that works its way around the stairs, which you can see there. And then there was just one more piece to go across, and I get to use most of that floor space then. So this provides the right head height or head clearance between the stairs and this. And there are quite a few rules with staircases. So this is about 2.1 meters head clearance, which is a bit more than what you need. And there it is, looking really good. So in the next video, I will start on the doors and fitting the windows. See you next time.